Hey, everybody. Today we've got a special little treat. I got Preja Sunny George here with me, and we're going to be talking a little bit about homeowners insurance. So, guys, if you're watching this live, hashtag live. If you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. Um, for real estate transactions, there's a ton of people involved, right? We've got the agent, we've got the attorney, the inspector, the appraiser, the title company, and then we've got the insurance person, right? So as homeowners, we've got to buy homeowner insurance, and today I want to kind of talk about that side of the business. So I invited Preja on because Preja owns Allstate in New York, and I wanted to kind of have you explain what is homeowners insurance and why do we need it and what do we have to look for when we purchase homeowners insurance.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So homeowners insurance, it's a very important thing to have, especially if you have a mortgage, which most of us will have mortgage, because God forbid something happens to your house, there's a fire, your home is totally destroyed. If you don't have any homeowners insurance, you're going to be on the line for maybe $300,000, $400,000. If your mortgage is $350,000, mortgage is going to come after you for that money to rebuild that home.
Mm-hmm.
So homeowners insurance is very important because God forbid anything happens like that, you'll be covered. You'll have something where you can rebuild your home to look like what it is now. So you'll be safe where you don't have to put out all this money that you probably don't even have available. What a lot of homeowners insurance looks for when they give you a quote. There's a lot of different companies available, Allstate being one of them, Farmers, State Farm. They're all looking at your credit. You have to have good credit, and also like prior losses, like say you had another home, starter home, and you're buying another bigger house. They're going to look at what your previous losses were. If you had like a
Like
claim.
if I ever filed a claim, like if I ever said, "Oh, my kitchen burned down," and
Yeah.
need a few hundred
So if
thousand,
you,
they saw
yeah, if you filed a claim, your kitchen burned down, your house burned down, they're going to be looking usually like 5 to 6 years back to see, okay, is this person like too risky that I don't want their business? If you have 3 or 4, you're going to have a tough time trying to find a company that'll insure you.
So that record is tied to me, or is it tied to the property?
It's tied to you. So even if you sell your home and you move to another state, they could still pull that up.
Mm. How long is that record for?
Some companies look 5 years, some go 6 years back. So it's a few years that they're looking at.
So let's say I buy a house, and it's $1 million house here locally. How much homeowner insurance would I need?
Okay. So yeah, you can't really go by market value because in New York, the market value is so much different than what it costs to actually rebuild the home. So, and we have the value of the land as well. So if God forbid something happens to the house, you could still sell the property for a certain amount of money. So homeowners insurance is just used to rebuild the house itself. So they're going to be calculating based on square footage, how many bathrooms you have, if you have how many kitchens, if you have a fireplace, decks, pools, all of that goes into account. And they pull up like a dwelling coverage, that's what it's called. And that's what's going to be used as replacement cost. Like if something does happen, you'll be covered up to that amount to replace the home. So every company will pull up some different random values, but all in companies, once you buy that policy, they'll send out an inspector. Some companies do interior inspections. Most just do the exterior. And they'll come and inspect to make sure that what the agent put in is correct and you have enough coverage. If you don't, they're going to shoot that coverage up to make sure you're covered for what you need,
Okay, do I decide that? Is it like shopping for car insurance? Is it like I pick a lower deductible? And
No, the dwelling coverage, it's not really even something you can be like, hey, I want $200,000. If I'm
Mhm.
calculating 350, there's no way I can get you to
Right.
200,000. Um, and even if I do put it at that, inspector's going to come and be like, hey, like this house is not going to be rebuilt with 200,000. I need to, increase the coverage. It needs to be at least 350, 375, and then your premium's going to shoot up.
Right. Okay. So what causes your premium to shoot up? Does it increase year after year?
Yeah, usually based on inflation, companies will increase the dwelling coverage because, especially after COVID, with the cost of materials, labor, everything's like through the roof. So usually every year they'll increase your dwelling coverage by a certain amount just to, inflation and everything, just to cover you.
Do people switch companies?
Yeah, sometimes you can always get a better rate if you try to shop and go to another company, because every company has different rates. So, you can always go to another company and be like, hey, can you quote my house? And sometimes they'll get lower dwelling coverage, but same, they'll have an inspector come and make sure it's
Okay.
adequate for.
Is that something that you do? You kind of receive calls and people say, "Hey, preacher, help me out and let me know if I'm paying too much." Like do a little.
Yeah, I get calls for, even my own customers will call and be like, why is my premium so high?
Oh, right.
Or I'll get other customers from other companies and be like, hey, can you help me out? See if you can get me a better price with better coverage, and
Mhm.
try to do my best.
Okay. Okay. What else do our does the audience need to know about homeowners insurance? What do they have to look out for, and how do they compare one quote to the next?
Well, you want to make sure there's a lot of different insurance companies out there, big ones that you see a lot of commercials for, and also very small ones that you never even heard of. So you
Mhm.
just want to make sure that they're at least like an A-rated company, um, or even B is good, but you want to stick with the A-rated companies. The less, if you get an F company, this is not good. You want to stay with A, B. That's the better rating, pretty much like they're financially stable. So, they're not going to shut down their company and leave you empty handed with nothing. So you want to kind of stick with those companies. If you don't know, what their rating is, you can always just ask the agent or even just Google it and it'll show you like what is their rating. Um, and what else?
Yeah, no, I think that's very important. I think that it's most important when you're filing a claim.
Yeah. And, because you don't want them to like, you're calling, you can't reach anybody. Like, where's my
Right.
agent? Where's my,
Because you're paying into them, and it doesn't matter, uh, until there's a claim, and you need to take some of that insurance money out, right?
yeah, definitely.
Whatever it is, storm damage, or I've had to call upon my insurance company because of storm damage, and it was smooth, right?
Mhm. So you
So
want to, look into the deductible and stuff, because mostly I try to keep it at $1,000.
mhm,
It's not, people aren't going to put it in claims every year. It's not like auto insurance or you're driving around and somebody can hit you. It's not something you're going to put in claims all the time. So I usually try to keep it at 1,000, but if you increase it, you can always get a better premium. But then you got to make sure, like, hey, God forbid something happens, and do I have this $1,000 or $2,500 to shell out? Like, because you got to pay that out of pocket before insurance is going to pay any kind of additional. Um,
interesting.
yeah, so you got to make sure, okay, am I okay with that? Do I have that money on hand just in case if something does happen?
Yeah, good to know, guys. Preja is my go-to person for insurance in New York for my clients, and I wanted to introduce her to you so that you have access as well, and learn a little bit about what homeowners insurance is and why it's important in a real estate transaction. Preja, how can everybody get a hold of you?
You can call me at my office number or even my cell phone. I don't know.
What's the office number?
It's the office number is 718-343-4900.
All right. All right, Preja. I have to run. I promise you I'd keep it right around this 10-minute mark. Thank you so
Okay.
much for agreeing to this on such short notice. You did fantastic.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.